Look at those speed babies flying across the racetrack. The roar of the engines, the smell of burned rubber. Yes, friend, we are back. Stories from motorsports. Learn about the drivers, learn about the humor. Stories from motorsports. With your host Doug Kenny, learn about the funny moments from behind the wheel. Stories from motorsports. Stories from motorsports. Learn about the cars, learn about racing, and hopefully you will be inspired to get into racing or attend a race in the future. Stories from motorsports with Douglas Kenny and Josh May. Oh!
Do you ever do any of the technical work on the car?
Yeah. Pretty much every single car. I mean, so luckily now where I live, the sprint car's right down the road. Before Pensacola, I was over there getting it together. Um, yeah, I am blessed to have a crew chief like Jason Boyd for the Sportsman. That although like I do all the maintenance on it, the week to week maintenance is done by me. A lot of people don't know that, and a lot of people probably won't believe it. But the week to week maintenance is done by me, and then Jason, he's there at the track setting it up versus I do like the work on it. So, which I do at my dad's shop when I have time, and even the midget, me and Shay, Shay did it all in this little tiny garage. I mean, no bigger than my living room. He put that car together, and it was one of the most beautiful cars to look at. Everything was new on it. Everything was titanium, and me and him worked on it a few nights, just banging it out, trying to get that car done before Chili Bowl. So, you know, um, yeah, I do a lot of the work though. A lot of people don't believe that for some reason. I don't know if it's just haters or what, but yeah, I do. I do know a lot about cars in general and how to work on them and how to fix them. And I could set them up, to not as good as Jason Boyd, but I could. So
Since you brought up those haters that criticize you, do some see you as polarizing, or are you overall a clean driver?
I find myself as a clean driver. I think people don't think so most of the time. Like like the one night I got really criticized for was it wasn't even me. I was running up front. I didn't have a winning car. I was a third place car at best that night because I had damage, and the two Briggs brothers wrecked themselves, and I fell into first. And for some reason, everybody in that race was mad at me, and I could not figure out why. Like I went back and watched the replay. I'm like, what did I do? I'm like, I was literally just riding. And yeah, I mean, like I said, I think I'm a clean racer. I've been told by people outside of my class that like that I don't seem to do too much wrong, but people inside the class obviously are gonna create stories that they want to create when you're beating them. So it's just part of it. It's part of racing. It happens everywhere. I'm sure every person that's winning has to deal with it. So I'm just next on the list, I guess.
Yeah, I understand that. Yours doesn't sound as much blatant as, Paul Tracy in the SRX series, because that was more evident and understandable why people were upset with him, when you look back on those replays.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, he definitely wasn't very clean in his deal. I mean, he just blatantly was doing stuff that he shouldn't have done. But yeah, like I said, I don't ever see myself like, if I have to handle business, that's different. I think every driver comes to an impasse where they're too nice, and I was for a long time. And now I'm 24. I'm an adult. And as a kid, I was always told like, don't do it. It's not worth it. Your dad, my dad would be pissed off. But like now it's to the point where like, you got to defend yourself sometimes. You can't be a pushover. So luckily I haven't had to really use that, but if it ever came to it, I would. But I don't find myself putting myself in positions like that, and like I said, like luckily I've been pretty good on my equipment and pretty good to myself about not having to do anything.
Oh, wow, baby, look at those speed babies flying across the racetrack. The roar of the engines, the smell of burned rubber. Yes, friend, we are back. Stories from motorsports. Learn about the drivers, learn about the humor. Stories from motorsports. With your host Doug Kenny, learn about the funny moments from behind the wheel. Stories from motorsports. Motorsports. Learn about the cars, learn about racing, and hopefully you will be inspired to get into racing or attend a race in the future.